Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I'm going to be sharing with you several insights, things that I've learned, lessons that came up, revelations that came as a result of a seminar I was at last week called Funnel Hacking Life. And one of the speakers that was there talked about doing afraid. And what they meant was this, is that, and I wrote a post about this on Facebook this morning. I wanted to expand on this because I think this is an important thing for you to hear than today's sister. And I'll put the post in the show notes as well too. And by the way, if you don't get the show notes, like, you need to subscribe to the newsletter to get that. So when I talk about certain things, you have to be like, oh shit, I got to write that down, or let me write down that link, or, you know, like, it's just there. You just like click on it, right? So make sure to head over to drkarenosborne.com. You'll see the pop-up with your option to get the More for Action guide. It's a way to start your day in power. And you can get subscribed to the newsletter. So that way they just kind of get the show notes sent to you when these episodes come out 3 times a week. But back to this. So talking about doing afraid. So in the post this morning that I wrote on Facebook was this belief system that I see a lot of people talk about, of like having no fear and I'm going to be fearless and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I used to come from that place too. I would definitely say that there's not really, like, I'm not, for me, what's true for me, sister, is that I don't worry often. I don't like worry and have fears about things, but there are certain things that scare me a little bit, right? Like doing something big within my business, doing something big within our family. Like right now, my husband and I, for example, are meeting with the owners of the house that we're renting. We moved here to Victoria, BC, which is our new home. We used to live in Alberta, and we moved here in August. So as I record this, that's about, 7 months ago. We're on a lease that's up in like a 12-month mark, right? So that'll be August the 1st or July 31st. And so we have the opportunity to possibly buy this home. Now, we don't know if this is the right move for us right now. It's a significant investment. It's a huge jump up from our last home that we bought, and we're in a different area. And this is kind of what the houses are. And this is expansion, as we're kind of, you know, as we move forward within our life and we go to that next level, this would be the type of house. It's beautiful. So we're kind of just like, God, do we buy this house? Like, fuck, it's such a big investment. It's easy to see when you're looking at a home, right? Like the actual ticket price or the list price of it versus what am I paying each month? You know, it's easy to kind of get sucked into that and to kind of be overwhelmed by that of like, oh my God, that's a big debt to have. Like, yes, it's a mortgage. Yes, everybody has a mortgage. It's not like it's credit card debt or something stupid car debt, but you know, it's a mortgage. It's a huge, huge property, huge chunk of change for the property. So are we scared and kind of going like, God, is this a decision? We're not really quite sure yet. We're going to meet with them Wednesday and get some more details and see what our options are. But yeah, I'm kind of scared to make that big decision. You fucking bet, right? Anytime that you're doing something that is at next level, anytime that you're doing something that is the step forward of something the voice is telling you to do, it's scary. You know, when we closed the doors of our chiropractic practice last year because we weren't able to sell it, to just walk away from that and lose several tens of thousands of dollars and all the stress of that, like, and to go, okay, I'm walking away from a profession I thought I'd be doing the entire rest of my life. And here we go. I'm following what the voice tells me to do, something I feel called to do, which is speaking this message to you right now, sister, with Women Wanting More. And the coaching that I do and the programs and the events that I'm organizing and coming out with and, you know, book. Like, it's scary to do that shit, right? But one thing that the speaker said, and again, I'm going to find out who it was so I can give them proper props for this here, but it's like, you do it anyways, right? You do afraid. You've maybe heard that saying before, is feel the fear and do it anyways. Like, you do afraid. And that if you think that the solution is, well, I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to wait until I'm fearless, then I'll do that thing. You'll never do it. Or if you think that, like, from people that you see that have courage to do these things, if you think that they do it without fear, that's also bullshit. That's not true. And anyone that tells you that is just not telling the entire truth. Like, I'll tell you something else, sister. Like, I love to speak now. I love to speak. This has taken me years to get to this point. Do I still, before I speak, get kind of nervous, little butterflies? Sure. So this weekend, as I record this podcast on a Monday, Saturday, I am speaking at one of my husband's live events. It's called CLL Live. Entrepreneurs that help them to really create their message and be able to bring that online. And mostly chiropractors right now that my husband speaks to. That's part of his movement with the Chiropractic Philanthropist, his first podcast. But he's expanding on to others in the online space, other entrepreneurs. But before I go to speak, is that going to be a little nerve-wracking? Sure. But I do it afraid. I do it afraid. And the thing that happens is it gets easier over time. Now, I don't think there's ever going to be a time that I speak. I'm actually speaking to at a really, really big seminar. This is an amazing opportunity. It's called Meltdown the Desert 2, because it's the second one. They did one last year. It's put on by an amazing human being, entrepreneur, dad, husband, just superstar. His name is Colby Kay. And he asked me to speak, and I'm just like, let me think for a second. Yes. And, I'm, in my mind, I'm the small potato on that lineup, man. I'm like people be like, okay, I know this guy. Who the hell is she? But I'm willing to do that because I know that is the next level, because I want to be speaking more. I know that I can speak to you, sister. And right now, as I record this podcast, there's 2,400 of you that listen to this podcast every single day, and 171 now countries from around the world. Amazing, right? I also know that being able to connect with people face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, is a very more intimate, different experience. This can be very much too. My voice in your earbuds or in your car, however you're consuming this podcast and listening, is very much so too. When I get on the phone with women who apply to coach with me, they're like, oh my God, you sound like you're doing the podcast. I'm like, yeah, sister, it's me. It's the same. Right? But there's something about hearing a voice that's very kind of intimate, pared down in the world of like video and all sorts of like information and content on the internet. We're being bombarded. Sometimes just the simplicity of just a voice is powerful, right? But I know that in person, I'm that much more impactful. I know I can engage even more. I know that creating that experience for another human being is something very special that happens at a live event. And so I am doing it afraid. I have a chance to speak. There'll be 2 different things that I speak, and maybe I'll be part of a Q&A panel as well too. And listen, I can easily go to the place of, well, who the fuck am I to do this? All these other people that have like massive followings and creating far greater income than me and been doing this far longer and, more accolades, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to own it. I'm going to do it afraid. Now, I'm not going to lie about it either. This is the other piece of this. Some people will say, like, I'm not afraid. I can do it. I'm a fucking badass. And that's great. Like, I love that confidence, that certainty, that bravado. Like, yes. But if you're doing it without really, really fully being honest about, like, I'm going to do it, but holy shit, right? That'll be me leading up to it. I'm not going to get on the stage and go, holy shit. Actually, I take that back. I just may. But you do it afraid, sister. You do it afraid. So here's your more tip for today. What is something you've been holding back from doing because of the fear that you have in your life right now? Is it something that's within your business? Is it something you want to create? Is it something within your marriage you want to speak to your husband about? Is it a way that you want to raise your children? Like, what is the thing that you're wanting to, that the voice inside is calling you to do? And the second piece of this is, I want you to take one action step that moves you towards doing that thing, and to be okay with doing it afraid. So, sister, check this out. As I record this podcast, I just launched a new community of like-minded women that are committed to having power in all areas of their life, in their marriage, their business, their body, and their family. And it's called the Women Wanting More Sisterhood, or simply the Sisterhood. There are 41 women since I launched this 10 days ago. Like, it's just taken off like crazy. And so right now there are a handful of spots that are left. It depends on when you're listening to this episode, but there's just a handful that are left at the very, very low investment, the initial tuition that I've launched this as. So here's the thing. Those that take action early get rewarded, right? If you're sitting on the sidelines, it's like, I'm not sure, right? So, but even as it bumps up to the next tuition level, it is still incredibly affordable, less than a Starbucks latte every single day. And man, the engagement, the energy, the support, like already that's happening within the sisterhood is absolutely incredible. And you get a chance to have me one-on-one in a group format, and it's just, amazing. So here's what you need to do. Go to drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. So Dr. Karen Osborn is drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. You're going to watch a video from me first, enter in your email. You'll get all the details and a chance to join the sisterhood and really be part of this huge movement that it's going to be. I'm taking this globally, even bigger than globally right now with the 171 countries that listen to this podcast. And 2017 is going to be huge for women wanting more and for really helping to reach you, my sister. So that's again over at drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. So I will talk to you in the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you, sister.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.